417, 41.8 degrees. Day 3, April 5th. Getting up. Alright guys, good morning. The time is that right? Good, it's 6:53. It's earlier than I thought. And the temperature is 50.8 degrees. So warming up a little earlier today. I want it to turn on now rather than when I planned on turning on, because it looks like the sun is about to peek up from behind those mountains, which would be pretty neat for you, hopefully. Yeah, last night was pretty good. Actually, I didn't check how cold it got last night, but when I woke up, as I said this morning, it's about 41 degrees, 41 something, and yeah, so just a little chilly. I threw on the windbreaker. I had my beanie on as I was hiking this first hour or so. Broke camp at 5:30 on the nose. 8 minutes later, I heard the first coyotes of the morning, who were, coincidentally enough, yipping and yapping from the foot of the Coyote Hills, which is what I'm currently hiking through. There's a hiker up ahead of me. I haven't caught him just yet, but we'll get there. Yeah, so first coyotes at 5:38, yipping and yapping, even fainter than yesterday. Last night, or 2 nights ago, I should say. And then first bird was at 6 in the morning. Yet another black-throated sparrow. Wanted to mention about that. I'm not typically a birder. Couldn't typically identify birds by their calls, but I have an app called Merlin like the wizard, which you can just kind of hit a button and it'll identify the bird by the call, which is pretty cool. I recommend it. I'm just trying to drag this out until that sun peaks. My feet definitely a little torn up, especially pinky toe on my right foot. I knew that was going to be a problem. That's a problem anytime I go hiking. It's just sort of my fourth toe sort of falls on top of it with each step. So a big old blister on there last night. Had to drain that. Wrap it up real good with Fluco. Kind of push it into more of a cylindrical shape so that it doesn't fall underneath my fourth toe. Gosh, dang, it's so close to sunrise. I think I'm just going to detour out here. Let that other hiker go. Another thing I'll tell you is this morning, man, hiking in the dark. So yesterday when I broke out early, I was just road walking for the first while. And this morning, that was not the case. This morning I was on like proper trail, which made navigation in the dark pretty exciting. But as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I'd read a book before I came out, which taught me how to identify the North Star by way of identifying Cassiopeia and the Big Dipper. And so this morning I was basically using those as my bearing points. I would just navigate off those. Like I would look at the map, I would see which direction the trail wanted to go. I would identify the North Star, and then I would just trace that. So at one point the reference point changed to being the right or easterly arm of Cassiopeia. So I changed my bearings, and instead of heading towards the North Star, sort of curved right a little bit and headed more towards Cassiopeia. I don't know. So that was pretty good. And actually it was really fun. It kind of like got the brain going first thing in the morning. So that was pretty neat. Kind of thinking of things that way. And yeah, navigating in the dark. So, you know, it was still kind of a matter of, you know, if I didn't see a one of these multitude of CDT signs, I would definitely check the map and just make sure. A couple times I was off trail by a little bit, but you just correct and find the trail and find the treads again. And it was really fun. It was really, really fun, actually. It kind of makes you feel very sort of I don't know what, very like in tune with how humans used to do things. So really cool to navigate off the stars, and I definitely recommend it if you haven't done it before. Although definitely have a backup too. Have your maps and your GPS and all that. Anything else to mention really, or am I just kind of waiting for this sun? Yeah, my feet are torn up, but they're okay. As I mentioned last night, Heater and Big Green are going to be starting the trail today, which is great. Look forward to seeing them whenever. They are planning to be back in Lordsburg on the 9th, which at this point I might be a day out of Lordsburg already by the 9th. But we'll kind of see how that goes. And again, I mean, it's a freaking 3,000-mile trail. I'll meet up with them at some point. So far I'm enjoying everything out here. I've definitely taken kindly to this whole sort of siesta mentality. So instead of just starting in the morning and stopping at night, as I did on the Appalachian Trail, I'm finding it quite helpful to take these little siestas and just kind of rest up in the middle of the day and elevate the feet, take off the shoes and socks. Oh, there it is. Very cool. Take off the shoes and socks. One other awesome thing about the desert is that stuff just dries. I mean, instantly. Like yesterday, I got to that water source, the extra murky pond one. It was some kind of windmill. I forget what the name of it was. And I took off my socks, and since there was plenty of water, I kind of washed them. No, washed them, but kind of rinsed them out in the water a little bit. So they were soaking, sopping wet. And an hour and a half, 2 hours later, when I stood up after dinner to put them back on, they were bone dry. Even the wool socks, even the darn tough wool socks, bone dry. So that was pretty neat. Let's see if we got, yeah, so there's the sun. Pretty cool. Then you can barely see on these peaks over there, maybe. Just the very beginning of the sun having an effect up on that rocky bluff up there, which is pretty neat. Yeah, man, it's fun out here. It's challenging on the feet so far. So far the muscles feel good, but you know what? This isn't a weekly health update. Let me not get ahead of myself. I just wanted to show you guys the sunrise, and thank you for checking it out. So, anyways, day 3 underway. I'll have to put on my hat pretty soon. I was just enjoying time without it. Awesome. And look how quickly it's fallen down these other sort of hills and bumps back here. It's over halfway up now. Very cool, very cool. I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. 11:30, and I'm just leaving water cache number 4. I met up with Jessie and Nosebleed, 2 young gals from Taos. I think Jessie's doing like half the CDT, Nosebleed's doing New Mexico, and then Jessie's hoping to finish next year. Well, that very prominent mountain in the distance is called Pyramid Peak. The one which I'm referring to, I'm sure, is pretty self-evident on account of its name, and that's where I'm headed. So you might see in the foreground between here and there, it's just broad expanse of flat nothing, which would be nice. Might be kind of cruisy. Oh, sorry, let me. But also means there's not a lot of water. So I think the next water source is in 3.7 miles. One of the comments on Far Out called it algae soup. So thus far the water sources have been pretty darn accommodating, honestly. So if this is the first one that is really kind of sketchy, then I'm still coming out ahead. So, and then after that 3.7, there's not water again for like 9 miles beyond that. So so you kind of got to, especially this time of day, coming up on 11 o'clock. Take a look at this. That's pretty cool. Anyways, man, I'll tell you, the sort of like the first thing I saw this morning was the Coyote Hills, and what a beautiful section that was. All those sort of rocky tops and things like that. Really, really, really beautiful. Really fun hiking. I mean, it was a short section, so I wasn't really in it for too terribly long, but really, really fun. Definitely I mean, not that I've been on trail that long, but definitely the nicest section so far, to my mind. Absolutely. This, I don't think, is going to be much competition for that. So, is what it is. This is what I signed up for. This is my idea of fun. Just got to keep reminding myself of that. At least it's windy today, so it might be like air conditioning. Knock on wood, there's no wood in the desert. All right, check in with y'all a little later. Terribly concerned though. You just got to kind of figure out which general direction you're going, and then look for the CDT sign, which is always easy to spot. You can spot it right. Oh gosh, I can't even find it in the viewfinder. It's right about in here someplace. Probably about a quarter mile away. So I'll head towards that. Well guys, it is 4:04 p.m. and I'm getting ready to turn in. Ladies and gentlemen, I am wiped, I don't mind telling you. This wind, my goodness, man. It's just been like this for hours. Look, you can't even see the mountains across the way. I've decided to turn in somewhere out here is Pyramid Mountain. I think it's maybe just that guy right there. I've gotten all turned around. Been down in my little hole. I'll show you what I've decided to do. Again, this wind is just absolutely out of control. Not a chance I'm gonna be cowboy camping tonight. So I found these little gulches or washes or whatever you want to call them. And this one, I decided to pitch my tent in it. And honestly, it took me over an hour to get that tent as good as it is. And it is officially not great. Gosh, the windscreen is blowing all over the place. So I mean, it's supposed to be like this all night. It's gonna be potentially a merit badge night. It definitely kind of has been a merit badge kind of day because this wind is just unrelenting. Well, anyways, it is what it is. I think I did 22 miles or so today, which means 50 and 2, which is pretty great. Pretty great merit badge. 50 miles in 2 days. Should put me about 20 miles from the end of this section, which means hopefully with any luck, good Lord willing, and quite literally creeks don't rise, I should be in Lordsburg tomorrow, so tomorrow evening. Man, this is just not doing it justice, boys, girls. It is windy. You can probably see the dust. I hope you can see the dust because it is madness.
Call me out, tiger. Call me out, but don't you laugh. Lift me up higher, above the clouds, won't you love? When the scenery is right, go right in. I wanna fall deep within. Don't leave me hanging just 'cause I'm too proud. Whisper away my outdated doubts. Somebody do me the courtesy, dress me down. I'm not that old yet, I'm far too young to not stand my ground. But my ways are mine and I don't wanna change, not even for love. Now take back all them hard words. I'm a grown woman with confidence and sense. In the middle, meet me in the middle. I'm a riddle, figure me out. We'll tornadoes, we'll drink morning dew, and we'll be lovers, me, you. Full force tiger.